Hey guys, so for the first monster of the week that I'm going to be statting, I'm going to be doing one of the bosses from Demon Souls, part of the Soul series. We're doing the Dirty Colossus. It's one of the bosses from the Valley of Defilement. Not an incredible in-game threat, but I think he translates really well to 5e, and I'm really excited to do it as part of a conversion that I'm already doing of the entirety of the game to a 5e campaign. So let's get right to it and see if we can stat this bad boy.
So right off the bat, I was trying to find a base template to have the Dirty Colossus be based off of. Um, I already knew that he was going to be a demon, given that that is the nature of Demon Souls, but he isn't strictly a demon per se, so I actually decided on going with a golem template, and that's actually where he gets a lot of his abilities. So even though he is a large fiend, he's got some abilities like absorption. Now he's got necrotic absorption here, but that is actually kind of in line with some of the other golems. Now the clay golem has an acid absorption. The flesh golem has a lightning absorption to try and make it be a little bit like Frankenstein, um, as well as iron having fire and stone having none, but being just robust in general. Um, the aversion to fire actually is trying to incorporate some of the boss mechanics from the fight, in that he is weak to fire, but also using some of the ability of the flesh golem once again. Underneath his trash that covers him, he is, after all, flesh, so he is very sensitive to it, and more than just giving him a weakness to fire, I wanted him to just sort of not like it. And the immutable form is actually one of the abilities that the other golems have as well, um, which is kind of nice. He is sort of an amalgam, so you can't really cast spells on him that change his form just because he's already sort of pulled himself together and is bound by his demonic energies. Magic resistance, magic weapons, same thing, just borrowing the abilities from the other golems. Um, However, uh, he does have quite a bit unto himself. Uh, so the Carapace of Detritus ability that he has, which states the body of the Colossus is covered in a collection of waste from the surrounding area from whence it was born. Every time the Colossus takes more than 20 hit points of damage in one turn, its AC is reduced by 1 to a minimum of 13 as the debris that covers its body wears away. Now, it's very important that, unlike the main fight, the debris doesn't wear away all at once. I sort of started off with having the debris just be a sort of shield that covers him, and once that goes away, he loses the natural AC bonus of his shield. Actually, playtesting that didn't quite work out as intended, so I ended up having it be a progressive AC reduction. Um, his multi attack, same thing with trying to emulate the game. 4 slam attacks or 3 swarm attacks. Uh, in game, he will do these dependent on your proximity to him. So by having the option of either doing the slam or the swarm attacks, it allows the GM to take over the control that the game itself has for the multi attack. Now, this sort of brings me to his abilities that really make him special. So, he has the swarm ability that is, well, you can kind of see it in the video right now. He extends his hand and fires a swarm of flies, flesh-eating flies, to tag the target. Now, if they hit you in game, they actually stay on you, and you have to run towards the flames to remove them. I thought it would be a better idea just strictly for the swarm to have a dexterity check of 10, and you can just remove them, and instead of slowing your movement, they just do progressive damage to you, and you can just take an action to remove them. The fire mechanic that this game has, where you're covered in flies and you actually have to go to the flames, I covered in another action that the Colossus has, which, there it goes, boom. That is the ability that I dubbed Black Fly Burst for the actual stat block. You can see there are some clouds of flies that stay persistent on the battlefield. That is also incorporated into that ability. Not only does he release the flies, but he continues to release the flies. So Black Fly Burst actually reads as, the Colossus bursts innumerable sacs across his body, filled with hellish black flies, and functions exactly the same as the spell Insect Plague. Spell save DC 10. The Colossus is immune to the spell's effect, as well as creatures within its sphere of influence wielding fire, and does not require concentration. Now, the reason why there's no concentration is the flies are not being directly controlled by the Colossus, nor are they actually created as a result of the spell. They just exist and function the same way that the spell does for the purpose of the fight. And having immediate immunity to the spell if you are holding a flame allows the players to use the flame mechanic of the fight without having to worry about the swarm mechanic also doing the same thing. And like I said, his general abilities are all based off of a template of golems. So his HP, as you can see, you sort of have to whittle him away. I gave him sort of a HP that was mid-range for the golems, and his challenge rating, which I gave him an 8, sort of reflects the same as well. It just sort of averages out all of the golems and sets them somewhere smack dab in the middle. Overall, I think it should make for a pretty fun encounter in many situations, and I would hope that a lot of people would try and incorporate it into their game and see what they can make out of it. If you guys have any suggestions for future videos, please let me know in the comments section down below. I'll actually provide a link to the stat block on my DeviantArt page, and hopefully you guys will make full use of it. I hope to have a new video out soon. Have a great one, guys.